we should definitely be careful of. So turn with me to Mark chapter 8, verses 34, and I'll read to the 37th verse. And he summoned the crowd with his disciples and said to them, "If anyone wishes to come after me, he must deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whoever wishes to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake and the gospel's sake will save it. For what will it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul? For what will a man give in exchange for his soul?" Verse 36 really draws out an important point. For what will a man gain? For what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but forfeit his soul? There are many people who try so hard to find their identity, or they do find their identity in the world and are obsessed with all that the world has to offer, that when all that they own is stripped away, if it is, they don't know who to turn to because they've put so much weight on the things of this world. And we, as a church, meaning worldwide, need to refocus our eyes back to God and our Father. Because if we love God, we need to put Him first, to the point that that we are willing, if it comes down to it, to lay everything down that we own, and to the point of laying it down at the cost of following Him. It's important that we don't get engulfed in all the world's pleasures, because when it's all said and done, God can strip away all of our resources and all that He has given us just as fast as He gave them to us. So I have one last point before we close off. One other possibility why American churches are falling into the trap of being lukewarm is because the gospel relies on us being bold and not caring what the world thinks about us. Of course, there's tact that we have to use when we present the gospel, but we need to care more of what God thinks about us rather than what the world thinks about us. We are to be unashamed of the gospel. Mark 8:38 says, For whoever is ashamed of me and my words is an adulterous and sinful generation. The Son of Man will also be ashamed of him when he comes in the glory of his Father with holy angels. So God is the last person to have a say on how we live our life. And He's the last person to have a say on how we live our life, and we don't want to be ashamed of Jesus to those that are in the world, because it really presents a picture of Christians being weak and not actually standing up for what they believe, if we are ashamed of the person we so proclaim that we believe in. 2 Timothy, but in the midst of all these warnings I presented tonight, there still is hope, which is that God did send His Son, Jesus, to come down to this earth to help us conquer our struggles, help us overcome our worldly desires and our lukewarm spots that we have. 2 Timothy chapter 4, the Apostle Paul says, I have fought the good fight, I have finished the course, I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me on that day, and not to me only, but also to them that have loved his appearance. So I encourage everybody here tonight to focus every day on God first. The first person you should speak to in the morning is God. We should have our priorities focused on God alone. When we wake up and when we go to bed, we shouldn't give him our scraps of but sometimes sometimes the only time that people give God is whenever they're very tired, when they're ready to go to bed, and that's not giving God our best. So I encourage all of us to be careful when it comes to putting all our weight on the things of this world. So remember that we're supposed to be in the world, but not of this world. And that our reward from God is a heavenly one and not one that is physical. So that's all I have for tonight. If you have any needs of the church, please come forward as we sing the song that Jesse selected.